Thomas de Quincey was a distinctive figure of the early 19th century English literary scene, renowned primarily for his pioneering autobiographical writing and his exploration of the effects of opium. His life, marked by intellectual brilliance, personal struggles, and literary innovation, offers a fascinating glimpse into the Romantic era's complex relationship with creativity, addiction, and self-expression. Early life and background. Thomas de Quincey was born on August 15, 1785, in Manchester, England, into a prosperous family. His father, Thomas de Quincey Sr., was a wealthy and well-connected lawyer. The family's comfortable financial status allowed young Thomas access to an excellent education, setting the stage for his later intellectual pursuits. After the death of his father in 1798, when Thomas was only 13, the family's financial stability was somewhat shaken, but the young de Quincey continued his education at the prestigious Manchester Grammar School. His education was classical, deeply rooted in Latin and Greek, and it fostered in him a lifelong passion for literature and philosophy. In 1802, at the age of 17, de Quincey matriculated at Oxford University, specifically at Magdalen College. Although he excelled intellectually, his stay at Oxford was short-lived. He left after just a year, primarily due to financial difficulties. This premature departure from formal education would later push him toward a largely self-directed intellectual life. Literary beginnings and the opium experience. After leaving Oxford, de Quincey spent several years wandering and struggling to find a stable profession or vocation. He initially attempted to pursue a career in law, but without much success. His financial and personal hardships, coupled with a sensitive and introspective nature, made conventional life difficult. In 1804, de Quincey began experimenting with opium, initially as a remedy for severe neuralgia, a chronic pain condition. This marked a turning point in his life. Opium provided him with relief from physical pain and also opened the doors to altered states of consciousness and vivid visions that deeply influenced his writing style and subject matter. However, this also planted the seeds of a lifelong addiction that would both torment and inspire him. During this period, de Quincey moved to Edinburgh, Scotland, where he immersed himself in the literary and intellectual circles of the time. Edinburgh was a vibrant hub of the Scottish Enlightenment, and de Quincey found inspiration and companionship among prominent thinkers and writers. Major works and literary style. Thomas de Quincey's most famous work, Confessions of an English Opium Eater, was first published anonymously in 1821 in the magazine The London Magazine. The book is a vivid and introspective autobiographical account of his opium use and its profound effects on his mind and creativity. Confessions broke new ground by blending autobiography, psychological insight, and literary experimentation. De Quincey's writing is rich with poetic imagery, philosophical reflection, and candid admissions of his inner turmoil. It captured the imagination of readers and critics alike, making him one of the most intriguing and controversial writers of his time. Beyond the Confessions, de Quincey wrote numerous essays and literary critiques, often blending personal experience with wide-ranging cultural commentary. His essays on William Wordsworth and Samuel Taylor Coleridge helped shape the understanding of Romantic poetry. De Quincey was deeply influenced by the Romantics, especially in their emphasis on individual experience and the exploration of the subconscious. He also wrote on a variety of topics ranging from politics and economics to metaphysics, demonstrating a remarkably broad intellectual curiosity. Personal life and struggles. De Quincey's personal life was marked by instability, largely due to his struggle with opium addiction. His use of the drug brought periods of creative brilliance but also deep despair and physical decline. In 1816, he married Margaret Simpson, with whom he had several children. Despite his family commitments, de Quincey's addiction often strained his relationships and finances. He relied increasingly on literary work and editorial positions to support his family. His addiction and the psychological effects of opium caused recurring episodes of anxiety, depression, and paranoia. However, De Quincey was also aware of the dangers of the drug and often reflected critically on his dependence. Later years and legacy. Throughout the 1830s and 1840s, De Quincey continued to write, publish, and lecture. He held various editorial jobs, including work with the Westminster Review, where he contributed essays that combined literary criticism with his unique philosophical outlook. Despite his ongoing struggles with addiction, De Quincey's later writings display a deepening maturity and refinement in style. His influence extended well beyond his lifetime, affecting not only English literature but also the emerging fields of psychology and literary theory. De Quincey died on December 8, 1859, in Edinburgh. At the time of his death, he was regarded as a somewhat eccentric but highly respected literary figure. His work anticipated many themes that would become central to later literature, such as the exploration of consciousness, the psychology of addiction, and the boundaries between dream and reality. Writers like Charles Baudelaire and Edgar Allan Poe were influenced by De Quincey's confessional style and his rich, evocative prose. Conclusion. Thomas De Quincey's life was a compelling mixture of brilliance and struggle. As a writer, he carved out a unique niche that combined autobiography, literary criticism, and philosophical inquiry, pioneering a style that was intensely personal and innovative. His Confessions of an English Opium Eater remains a landmark work in English literature, offering an unflinching examination of addiction and creativity. De Quincey's legacy endures not only in his written works but also in his contribution to expanding the possibilities of literary expression and the understanding of the human mind.